Okay, everyone, and welcome to our second lesson about China. I've been really impressed with some of the homework submissions that you've made to me on Show My Homework. I've seen some really excellent research from a lot of you about the human and physical features of China, and I've been really impressed reading some of them about what you've found out. Today we're going to be looking at population and China's population, which China has the largest population of any country on earth, and its population is spread out in a particular way, which we're going to be looking at using maps. And these are the questions that we're going to be looking at. Firstly, what is population distribution? Secondly, what is population density? Thirdly, how can we describe the UK's population? And then lastly, how can we describe China's population? Okay, first, what is population distribution? Well, population distribution is the pattern of where people live. And on the screen you can see that there are three boxes. And the first shows that all of the members of the population are evenly spread out. Okay, there's an even distance between each member of this population, between each person, or each group of people. And so this is called an even distribution. The next box shows that all of the people in this, or all of the clusters of people, this could either represent one person or it could represent hundreds or thousands of people, like a cluster, like a city. And in this example, the distribution is random, okay? We've got this random person over here, and then we've got a group over here, and then we've got some other people over here. In the third box along, this is called a clustered distribution, and there are clusters of population, okay? Here, here, and here, and then areas where there isn't any population in between them. Okay, so distribution is about the pattern, okay, of where people live. And then we've got population density, and the population density is the number of people living in an area, and usually in geography that's a square kilometre. So if you imagine a square kilometre, you're then describing how many people live in that square kilometre. And here's an example. So in this square we've only got one person per square. In this one we've got 4 people per square, and here we've got 8 people per square. Right? Now, in reality, this is usually going to be a much greater difference. So, for example, the population density in the Highlands of Scotland, well, the population density here is going to be very low. As you can see, there's very few people living in the Highlands of Scotland. So it's got a low population density. Whereas this is the centre of London, and you can see all of the lights and the high buildings. You're going to get a very high population density, lots of people per square kilometre living in the City of London. Okay, lots of people per square kilometre in London, very few people or almost no people per square kilometre in the Highlands of Scotland. Okay, so distribution, where the pattern of where people live, and density, the number of people in an area. Right, so let's have a look at a map, and we're going to have a look at the UK. And this map is a map of the United Kingdom, and here's our key, and it says population per square kilometre. So all of the areas that are shaded in this blue colour, they have less than 50 people per square kilometre. Right, so all of these blue areas here, less than 50 people per square kilometre. The green areas have between 50 and 250 people per square kilometre. Okay. The yellow areas, they've got between 250 and 1,000. Orange, 1,000 to 2,500. Red, 2,500 to 5,000. And then purple, over 5,000 to 13,000 people. So let's have a look then at some of the areas that have got a higher population density. So we're looking for areas that have got this purple, and we can see immediately that London in particular has got a really high population density. It's got lots of purple down here, and that means that it's got a population density of between 5,000 and 13,000 per square kilometre. So in every square kilometre there's between 5,000 and 13,000 people. That's a lot of people living in a very small area. Conversely, in Scotland, at the north of Scotland, in the north of the UK, we can see that there are very few people living per square kilometre. We've got less than 50 people living in the Highlands of Scotland. Also, some areas of Wales where there are mountains, very few people. In the north of Cornwall and Devon, we've got very few people, very low population density. And we might be able to look at the physical geography of the United Kingdom to find out reasons for why this might be. So for example, in London, we've got a much warmer climate than in the north of Scotland. It's easy to access because we've got the River Thames and we've got close contact with Europe. So we can start to think about reasons why this might be, why we've got a greater population down in the southeast than we do in the north of the country. Okay, let's describe the population distribution in the UK. We've kind of had a look at this map and we've sort of discussed some of the population density. Let's describe the population distribution. So again, the distribution is the pattern of where people live. So let's go and describe the pattern that we can see here. So most of the UK's population, if we're looking at the pattern, most of the population is around the southeast and is centred around the capital city of London. Okay, we're just describing the pattern. We can also see that the population of the UK is clustered around the main cities. Again, this is a clustered distribution, and we can see that on our map. There are clusters of population around the main cities. We can even add some information. We can add some figures to back up what we're saying. So London has a population density of over 5,000 people per square kilometre. And we can see that because we've got the purple here. It means that we've got a population density of over 5,000 people per square kilometre. And the cities of Birmingham, Manchester, Newcastle and Glasgow also have high population densities between 2,500 and 5,000 people per square kilometre. Okay, and again, we can use our key to find out that information. The north of the UK, in Scotland, has a low population density of under 50 people per square kilometre. Okay, so what I would like you to do is, using my example of the UK, I would like you to describe the population distribution in China. And to do that, I would like you to use this map. Now, this map looks slightly different to the one we've just looked at, but it's really very similar. We've got a key here which shows us population density of China, and we've got some extra information on this key. Now, any areas that have got that are sort of with this dotted pattern, they're uninhabited areas, so there's no people per square kilometre. And then we've got a scale going from this very light yellow all the way to a dark red, and that shows us the number of people per square kilometre. So areas that have got a light yellow colour, they're going to be, again, a very low population density, and the areas that have got a dark red colour, they're going to be a high population density. So using my example, okay, I've shown you how to describe the population distribution in the UK. I would like you to describe, in your own words, the population distribution in China. So you can use your compass up here. So you can see that the majority of the population seems to be distributed to the east. whereas in the West there are areas that are totally uninhabited and with a very low population density. You can tell me, what is the population density in the West? What is the population density in the East? Where are some areas that have got a very high population density? And then what I'd like you to do as a challenge is, I'd like you to, I've written here, can you think of some reasons why? But I'm going to change this to research some reasons why the population is distributed in this way, okay? So just like with the population in the UK, with it being mostly around the southeast, and that could be because it's close to Europe, close access to the sea, why do you think it might be that most of the population is distributed to the east in China? Okay, you might need to do a bit of your own research in order to find that out. I'd like you to, you can either write your work on a Word document, or you can handwrite it and take a photo and upload it to Show My Homework. I'm expecting this to take you about 30 minutes to complete this work, so it shouldn't take you too long. If you've got any questions, then you can send those to me on Show My Homework. Good luck, everyone.